Hello everyone and welcome to Spooky Celluloid. I hope everyone out there is staying safe and doing fine. I myself had to work this week. Kinda sucks. Not work from home. I would be glad to work from home. I had to work from work, which kind of sucks because I'm not in the grocery business. I'm not either in the health business, so I really have no business working from work. What can you do about it? I hope everyone is doing well, and I decided to push my DVD Blu-ray update a little earlier this month just because I got everything except for my Kino Lorber order, which with the state of things might be somewhere in the United States or at the border, just there. So I'll make an unboxing as soon as I get it. But yeah, just hope everyone is doing fine. I'm trying to slowly get back into the video a week, or at least a video every 2 weeks, and I'll slowly maybe get back into the podcast thing. I don't know. I'll let you guys know. So first things first, I'm starting off with a book, a little book called Alone with the Devil, Famous Cases of a Courtroom Psychiatrist. It's written by two doctors, Ronald Markman and Dominic Bosco, which they're psychiatrists, obviously, and it's 5 cases. Lawrence Bittaker, Richard Chase, or also known as the Vampire of Sacramento, John Sweeney, Norma Jean Armistead, equality, and Marvin Gaye Sr., again, racial equality. So it should be interesting, although I probably won't take everything for like super seriously because it's a book about psychiatry from 1989, so it might be a little out of date. I don't know. I'll have to ask my friends who are studying psychology and psychiatry. Surprisingly, I have a lot of those. So that looks cool. So I'll show you the Blu-rays first, because I got some awesome DVDs, which is really rare to hear in the recently, but I do still collect DVDs, especially if they're out of print. I'm more so towards the out of print DVDs, but I still collect them, and sometimes I like DVD just as much, especially if it's like a movie from the 50s, which I have a lot of in this update. Alright, without any further ado, let's start with The Italian Job. I'm a kid of the 90s, and my first introduction to this film is obviously the remake with Mark Wahlberg, and for a while I didn't even know it was a remake, but then I figured it out because a lot of early 2000s car movies were remakes from the 60s and 70s, and yeah, this should be interesting. It's with Michael Caine, and it has a documentary about this about the film, so it should really be interesting. I haven't seen a lot of these early car movies, you know, like Bullet, French Connection, stuff like that. But French Connection, I've seen a lot of scenes. I almost saw the entire movie because I'm a big fan of like non-CGI car chases, and French Connection is one of the best just because it was done without any permits in downtown New York. So yeah. Should be awesome. Probably watch it tonight with the family, because what else do we have to do? Keeping up with the crime and car chases theme, Violent Professionals, released by Code Red. I recently watched the documentary Eurocrime! And it's a movie about Eurocrime films, and they talked about this one. I'm like, holy shit, this one looks interesting. I got a couple, I'm slowly starting to collect them, and my battery's about to die. So yeah, where was I? Yeah, I've been getting more into them. I've started collecting them more and more, and this one is honestly a great one. It's directed by Sergio Martino, so of course it's good. And one of my favorite things about this release, it's from Code Red, the infamous Code Red. And guess what? They're a really, really cheap company, like really cheap. And they used, I don't know if you can see it on camera, but you can see on this cover art the logo of a website which they obviously took this cover from, and it's quite hilarious. So this just Code Red just keeps impressing me. Like I can't tell you the website, but like you can obviously see the watermark, and it's hilarious. Normie Horror, Annabelle Creation, or the sequel, which is actually a prequel. I don't know. I haven't followed the Conjuring universe in a while. I bought this. I already saw it. I really enjoy it. The director, David F. Sandberg, is a guy that started off on YouTube making short films from Sweden, and he got hired to direct a feature-length film based on a short film he did on YouTube, Lights Out, and that's how he got into Hollywood. So that's really inspiring for someone like me. But also, he's just an overall good guy. He makes a lot of videos about directing, editing, how it is to come from Sweden and then become a big Hollywood director. Like, I don't like superhero movies, but because he directed Shazam, I'm like, he's a good egg. He's a good egg. One of the rare few in Hollywood. But yeah, it's your pretty standard modern horror movie. I watched it this week, and like, it's jump scares. But it's an interesting concept, interesting characters, good acting, good directing. It's just, it's your typical modern day horror film, and it's unrated. I think it was PG-13 when it came out in theaters, because everything is nowadays. Alright, last Blu-ray. The rare times where I order a Vinegar Syndrome, which I don't know how many of their films I'll get this year, because everything keeps, getting cancelled. So I don't know if I'll go to a convention this year. I hope so. Horrorama's in October, so I think I'm pretty safe there. But we never know, honestly, with how things are going. We never know. So I'm like, hey, I'm really curious about this film. I'm probably gonna overpay, but I'm like, fuck it, I'll buy it. And it's the Candy Snatchers, put out by Vinegar Syndrome, and it's another one of these where I don't know anything about the film. I've heard about it. I know, not even this one. This is total blind buy. But a Vinegar Syndrome put it out, so I'm like, it can't be that bad. And I watched it, and holy shit, it's great. It's kind of like when I watch Pets. Like, I really do love early 70s, mid 70s exploitation films like this one. A film that can never be done today, and this one is truly awesome. I really enjoy it. It's kind of like in the veins of Last House on the Left, so you know what kind of movie it is. But they kidnap a teenage girl, and they try to get money from her father, who works at a jeweler, and it gets really out there, really exploitation-y. I love this film. Really enjoy it. Let's get into the DVDs, because I got a lot. Close to where my father works, before this whole thing, there's a small record store, and they got a shit ton of DVDs and films. So he's like, hey, took pictures, sent me, like, you want any? I can pick you up if you see anything you think you'd enjoy. I'll pick it up. So I'm like, all right. I made him a list, gave him some prices. Prices aren't great, they're not convention prices, but hey, the man's gotta pay his rent. Poor man's gotta pay his rent. This one I watched yesterday, Attack of the Puppet People. I love these MGM midnight movies. I literally told my dad, I'm like, anything this label, just pick it up for me. I don't care how much it costs. It costs. Just pick it up. Great freaking movie. This one is fun. I like 50s sci-fi. This. But like, I'm really weird. I only watch them, like, I can only watch them during the afternoon, because they feel like afternoon movies. that you would see like on TV like a long time ago. But yeah, no, this one is actually really impressive for what it is. It came out. It's produced by AIP, so James Nicholson and Samuel Z. Arkoff, and it's honestly, the special effects are impressive. It's about people getting shrinked, so it's not a new concept, but for it's still interesting. It's one of the earliest film with this concept that I personally saw, but they get tiny, so I'm actually like impressed on how they made that in the 50s. It's not like super complicated effects. You see, it's mostly like projection, and like the big people rarely interact with small people. It's only an arm, and you can see like it's obviously been keyed out, so it's like not super impressive, but for a super low budget 50s movie made by AIP, I'm actually really impressed. So it's a fun film. It has its fun moments. Highly recommend it if you can find it. I don't know how rare it is, but it cost me $11. Good one. Always pick up MGM midnight movies. If you're into collecting, pick them up. They're worth the money. They might be DVDs, but they're kind of getting expensive, because a lot of them are out of print. Double feature, Art of the Devil by Tokyo Shock, a subsidiary of Shriek Show, which I love. I love these guys. What they did for like the home entertainment industry in the early 2000s is basically what Arrow, Vinegar Syndrome, Scream Factory are doing right now. So these are two, I think there's 3 in the series, but these 2 are the 2 firsts in the series. It's Thailand? They're from Thailand? Yeah, they're from Thailand. And I haven't seen them yet, but I really like Asian horror cinema, and I don't think I have any horror films from I might have one. No, I'm not even sure. This is my Asian collections right there. I don't even think I have any Thai horror films. So yeah, I'm curious. I started watching them, but then I got distracted. I went to see a friend instead. But it's a cool little box set. Anytime I can pick up some Tokyo Shock, Shriek Show stuff, I'm glad. This one I might have overpaid. Nightmare Castle. It's on Blu-ray now from Severin Film as a double feature with something else. I watched it. It looked like a good film. The transfer was so horrible. The audio was such shit. I didn't really pay enough attention. But it's another one of those where it's an afternoon movie for me. It's not from the 50s. It's from the 60s. It's Italian. So it looks promising. I'm just like, I should have got the Blu-ray, but that's why I buy some of these DVDs sometimes when I find them at a good price. I'm like, I'll check them out. If I like them, I'll upgrade to the Blu-ray. Music by Ennio Morricone. Great soundtrack. Barbara still does a great job from what I can see from her. The transfer's so garbage, and of course she's always beautiful, lovely woman. Needful Things with Max von Sydow, who recently passed away. May he rest in peace. Just interesting. Again, it's not an MGM Midnight movie, but anything MGM DVD related, I'm always curious. And I mean, it looks like one of those classy horror films from the 90s. I didn't know this was from the 90s. I thought this was from the 70s. Whatever. This looks like a classy horror film. Of course, with Ed Harris. It's directed by Fraser C. Heston. Don't know who he is. Looks interesting. This one I was looking for a while. It's on a bit on the expensive side, but Horror Rises from the Tomb with, of course, Paul Naschy. Paul Naschy kind of got a resurgence in the past few years, and I discovered him with that resurgence, and I've seen one or two of his movies. I have Blue Eyes of a Broken Doll, which is a Spanish Giallo, which I fucking love that movie, on DVD. And I'm like, I gotta get more of his stuff. So this is more of his stuff. I watched it. Transfer is really not that good, especially for the uncut version. Really, the transfer's horrible. But you can see it's a good movie, suspenseful, a slow burn. How I like him. It's just really got to get the Blu-ray. I'm not even sure. I know Scream Factory released like box sets. I just can't afford them. I know I paid $20 for this and I can't afford a box set that's 60 with like 5 of his film, but I think they're out of print. I don't know. I just wanted this goddamn movie. I enjoyed it. Transfer could be better, but I enjoyed the film. A Shout Factory. That's before they created Scream. Hollywood After Dark. No clue what this is. It's drama from 1968. Yeah. Okay. So it's the film crew presents Hollywood After Dark. So what it is, it's the guys from Mystery Science Theater 3000 who have commentaries on this old movie. It's kind of like what Shout Factory did with Elvira, where it's the movie, but it's public domain, so they just took the guys from Mystery Science 2000 and made fun of the movie, so it should be interesting. I'm not, honestly, might be sacrilegious, I don't think Mystery Theater Science 3000 is that good. I don't really get it's too, I know what the problem is, the humor's too clean for me. I like dirty jokes and black humor, dark humor, and it's just too it's also too referential. I don't know, not a big fan, sorry guys. This one was also one of the expensive ones, but totally worth it. It's weird because DVDs are like not, and are still like if they're out of print, they're still like kind of expensive, but not really expensive, not as expensive as like rare VHSs. But the Fly collection, the box is in not too bad shape. It's not great shape, but it's not too bad. It has the Fly, Return of the Fly, which I have on my set of Vincent Price films. Love that movie. And The Curse of the Fly, and the Fly collection disc of horror, which is an interview, a biography on Vincent Price, and an interview that was aired originally on A&E in 1997. A couple featurette. Looks interesting. I love Vincent Price. I love The Fly. I haven't seen the original. I mean this one. Saw the sequel, really enjoyed it, but like the concept, the remake, really interesting films, and I like how they come in their separate little cases. The Fly, La Mouche, Return of the Fly, which luckily doesn't have any French on the disc, and The Curse of the Fly, which again luckily doesn't have any French on there, and finally the Fly collection disc of horrors. I know I'm in Canada, but I don't like to see French on my DVDs, and I'll pick that up later. I hope I didn't do a lot of damage. Oops. All right, finally, from the little charity shop from my hometown. So they were like 50 cents each. Again, those are DVDs that are out of print, but they're on Blu-ray. So, like, if I like them, I'll buy the Blu-ray. Eve of Destruction. Really looks interesting. I think it's a post-apocalyptic, futuristic action film directed by Duncan Gibbons, starring George Hines. Who the fuck is George Hines? I'm sorry if you guys are big George Hines fans, but no, looks good. I have no idea what this is, but it looks fun. Sci-fi thriller. Okay, so I was correct. And finally, with Tom Selleck, which at this point Tom Selleck is kind of a meme. Is he? He's a punchline, right? Tom Selleck. Runaway. I bought a Tom Selleck film in the Kenny Lambert special, so it might be the same film. I don't know. I don't remember what I buy. But what's interesting, it's directed by Michael Crichton, so that's awesome. So it's probably a great movie. It's just Tom Selleck makes me laugh with his big 70s mustache, even though this is from the 80s probably. Yeah, from 84. But yeah, looked interesting. So yeah, that's about it. That's kind of a downer ending, but yeah, I hope you guys appreciated it. If you guys are staying safe out there, I promise you guys I'll come back to my regular schedule. I just gotta get some stuff sorted out. Hope you enjoyed it. Leave a like, leave a comment, discuss which is your favorite movie that I bought recently. See you guys next time.